Hello, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and today's class is a little, what would be called Yin and Yang. And the Yin practice is a surrendering practice, and it helps to relax our bodies and helps to lower our stress, which I thought would be nice around the holiday season. The Yang practice is the heating practice. Sometimes it's called Yang, sometimes it's called Yan, but it's a heating practice. And it helps to warm up the body so that we can relax in the yin. So we're going to start on the knees, either sitting back on a block, or you can sit your hips right between your heels. And then start to lengthen up nice and tall. So as you're here, find your sit bones. Those are grounding down, and then reach away. Inhale, circle the arms up, interlace your fingers, and reach the palms up toward the ceiling. Around your shoulders, just let that soften a little bit. Draw your front ribs in, and then exhale, turn to your right. So you're going to take a little twist. As you inhale, lengthen, lengthen. And as you exhale, maybe twist a little bit deeper if you can. Inhale, center, and exhale, we'll twist over to the left side. Try to bring the pinky fingers toward the floor behind you. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale to twist. Make sure you don't have any tension around the shoulders or the neck. And Rich Henwood, he requested more yin, so this is one for you. Inhale, circle the arms out, around and up. And we'll face the palms. Now the other pinky in front this time. And then exhale, we're going to lean over to the right side and get a nice stretch through the left side of the body. And again, as you inhale, see if you can lengthen. As you exhale, see if you can extend. Inhale and lengthen. Exhale and to the left side. Oh, also Rhiannon Fletcher asked for yoga for stressful days. I think this is a good one for you, Rhiannon. Inhale, bring yourself back to center, and exhale, release. Bring your fingertips behind you. Inhale, lift your hips up off the block. Draw your tailbone towards your heels. Open your chest. Let your head go back any amount. Keep the ribs drawing in, the front ribs, and then exhale, releasing down. And we'll come onto hands and knees, onto table position. And then make your way into downward facing dog. So the hands will be a little bit in front of the shoulders from table as you make that transition to down dog. Begin to bend one knee and the other, and bicycle the legs. And stretching back nice and long through the spine. And then keep your hips high. Stretch your heels toward the mat any amount. Spin your inner thighs back. Firm your leg muscles. Make sure the feet are hips width apart and your arms are shoulders distance. And gaze between your knees or your feet. Your heels should disappear behind your feet. Inhale, come into plank pose. Lift your rib cage and your belly. Take the knees to the floor. Or not, either way. Anytime you want to take the knees down, please do. Shift forward about an inch, lower slowly to the floor. And untuck the toes. Inhale for cobra. Toes are straight back behind you. Inner thighs reach up. Tailbone to heels. Frontal hip points lift toward the navel. And then back to the knees. Tuck the toes under and stretch back into your downward dog. So as always, you'll listen to your body. And if anything hurts, just stop immediately. Look forward and either step or hop the feet. Inhale, lengthen, make your spine long. Exhale, fold crown of the head toward the floor. Pressing through the feet, grounding down. Inhale, lengthen again. And exhale, crown of the head reaching toward the floor. Ground down through the feet. Inhale, come up with a long spine and reach all the way up and lengthen. And exhale, hands to heart center. Find your Tadasana pose, spread out your toes, a nice solid foundation through your feet, pressing evenly, and firm your legs and press your thighs back. Inhale, circle the arms up, and exhale, hinge from your hips to fold over the legs with a long spine. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen. As you exhale, bend the knees, step back into plank, and lower chaturanga, shoulders no lower than your elbows. Inhale, press into up dog or stay with cobra. Toes point straight back, and exhale, make your way into downward facing dog, rolling over the toes, or flipping the feet first and then pressing back. Try to avoid going one foot and then the other foot unless you switch which foot goes first. Keep your arms and ears in line. Look forward, past the fingers, step or hop, feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold forward. And if you can't reach the floor, just keep your hands on your shins. Inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up, stretch up. And exhale, Samastitihi, steady balance, or Tadasana pose. Inhale, arms reaching up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold, and then hips over the heels if your legs are straight. Inhale, lengthen, keep your gaze slightly forward. Exhale, step or float into chaturanga. If you float back, keep your elbows bent when you land. Inhale, press to open the front of your body, either up dog or cobra. And exhale, make your way back into downward dog. So again, arms shoulder distance, feet hips width. Turn the outer upper arms, the triceps, toward your feet, toward the back of your mat, your biceps toward the front of your mat. So you get a little external rotation of your arm right in the shoulder socket. And that's a safe place for your arm and shoulder to be in when you're putting weight there. Look forward, step or hop the feet. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale to fold. Inhale, press through the feet, rise up, look up and lengthen. And exhale to Samastitihi. And bend the knees. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sit in your imaginary chair. Drop your tailbone. Start to lift your left leg to balance. Keep your right knee bent, hands to heart center. And then step the left leg back slowly. And then set it all the way down with the toes tucked under for crescent pose. So keeping a steady gaze helps with that transition. Drop your tailbone down, lift your frontal hip points up towards your navel, and make sure your right knee is over your ankle. Stretch up through arrow straight arms, either shoulder distance apart, or you can take your arms wider. You could also touch your palms at the top, as long as the elbows can straighten. Bring your hands to the mat. Keep your left hand down and reach up through your right arm. So as you reach up through the right arm, try and lift your left hip up and drop your right hip down. So ideally, we're twisting from the waist up. It's hard in this pose, I know, but keep that as your intention. And then we're going to step the right foot on top of the left foot, come to the pinky toe side of the left foot, and reach up for Vasisthasana, right arm up. Exhale, reach your right arm towards your ear and just stretch and lift up through your hips. Spin your inner left elbow slightly forward. Reach your tailbone toward your heels and draw your ribs and belly in strongly to support you. And then take the arm back down by your sides. Look back to the floor. Come to plank pose. Lower chaturanga. Inhale, pressing. Up dog or cobra. Exhale into down dog. I forgot to mention in that side plank, you can take the bottom knee down for more support. I think I may show it on the second side. Look forward. Step or hop the feet. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, keep the length as you fold. Inhale, press down, bend the knees, weight in the heels, Utkatasana. Feet a little bit apart. And then start to press down into your left foot, getting a little bit lighter in the right foot. Keep a steady gazing point. Keep your left knee bent. So you're going to start to step the foot back like a warrior 3 with a bent leg, and then extending the leg back, tuck the toes under, and find your crescent pose. Reach up tall, Lengthen through the low waist, lengthen through your tailbone, your buns, and make sure your left knee is over the ankle. Pull your left hip back and send your right hip forward and stretch up tall. As you lengthen up tall, let the shoulder blades draw down toward the waist. Exhale the hands to the mat. Keep your right hand down. And then as you're ready, lift your left arm up. And again, try and drop the left hip down. Pick the right hip up, making that twist from above your waist. Shoulders in line with each other. And keep reaching through your back heel and lifting your back inner thigh. Then come onto the pinky toe side of your back leg. Step your left foot on top of the right. There it is. You can take your bottom knee down for more support. Line up the shoulders, extend the left arm up, and then extend it over in line with your ear to stretch. And then lift your hips up as much as you're comfortable doing. A little variation of side plank. And breathing here. Tailbone is still lengthening. Pull the belly and the ribs in. And look back to the floor, release your top arm to your side, and then take it into plank pose. You can lift the hips right to down dog or lower down through chaturanga. Inhaling into up dog, and exhaling back into downward facing dog. So hopefully you've warmed up a bit. We've got a little more to go before we come into our yin poses. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale to fold in. Inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center, Samastitihi. And inhale again to bend your knees, reaching up. And exhale, fold forward, reach the crown of the head toward the floor. Inhale, make a nice long spine, look up. Exhale, step or float back into chaturanga. Inhale, press through your hands and feet, roll the shoulders back, and exhale, lift the hips, downward dog. On your inhale, right foot steps, back foot is already flat. Rise up into warrior one, and then one exhale lowers you back down through chaturanga. Shoulders no lower than elbows. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, downward dog. So the right foot is flat, left foot steps by the left hand. I'm heel to heel with my feet alignment. Reach all the way up, pull the ribs in. And then exhale, step back, one exhale here. Inhale, press up, thighs and knees off the floor if you're an up dog. And exhale back into downward facing dog. We'll take a few breaths here. If you want to break, just take your knees down and rest. You can always push the pause button too if you want to take a break. That's a nice thing about practicing at home. You can just push the pause button and get your breath and get ready to continue. Look up, step or hop the feet. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, bend the knees, reaching up. And come to standing, back to Samastitihi. Turn one way or the other and step your feet out wide. So your ankles are right below your wrists. Turn your right leg all the way out. Bring your back toes in slightly. Line up front heel and back arch. Exhale, bend the knee over the ankle for warrior two. And then interlace your fingers behind your back. Inhale to open the chest. Exhale with your hands interlaced. Bring them around your back and to the front thigh. And then roll your back shoulder open. So your left shoulder is rolling back. And then you can just face the side of your mat with your belly and your chest. And just take a couple breaths so we're getting into that shoulder slightly. Knees over the ankle. Now we're going to keep the left hand where it is. Reach the right arm forward and then inhale to reverse. So you can grab on to a piece of your clothes if it's hard to keep that hand there. And then as you exhale, we're going to lean forward. Take the right hand to the inside of the right foot and make sure that your knee is still right over the second toe. Now press a lot of weight through the outer edge of your back foot as you squeeze your outer back ankle in and up, lifting the back inner thigh and keeping that back leg really firm. Inhale to come up. Interlace your fingers again. Take your feet to parallel now, straightening the legs. Open the chest as you inhale, and then exhale to come forward into Prasarita Padottanasana C. So the hands are interlaced here, or you could hook your thumbs If your shoulders are rather tight, hold on to a towel or a yoga strap if you have one. And firm your legs all the way up into the hip sockets. So you'll straighten the knees and then act as if you would really love to bend them, but don't let them bend. Root down to rise all the way up, and then turn your left leg out, your back toes in, and arms to a T. Inhale. Exhale for warrior two, gazing over the left fingertips. Line up your knee right over your ankle and right in line with your second toe. Spin your inner back thigh up and firm the back leg. And then clasp your hands, interlace the other pinky on top, open the chest, inhale. We're going to wrap the hands right around. So I've got my interlace, bring my hands around to my left thigh, and that's going to really roll my back shoulder open. Widen through the collarbones. Again, you're just going to face your torso to the side of your mat and continue your breath. Now keep the right hand where it is. Release the left arm, reverse. You can grab onto your clothes with your right hand if you like. Inhale to come up, lean forward, get some length, and then take your left hand to the inside, the big toe side of your left foot. And drop your back hip forward, making sure your knee stays over the ankle. And lift the back inner thigh up as you ground down through the outer edge of your back foot. So your back arch is lifted away from the floor, the arch of your foot. Inhale to come up. And reclasp your hands, other pinky on top still. Straighten the front leg. Take your hands back behind you. Inhale, open the chest, and exhale again to Prasarita C with the opposite interlace. Now just reach the crown of the head toward the floor. It never has to touch. Just gazing off the tip of the nose. Allow your shoulders to open with breath. So every time you exhale, see if you can just relax into that area, never forcing. Inhale, squeeze the legs toward each other to come up. And heel toe or hop your feet together. Come back to the front of your mat into Samastitihi. Inhale and circle the arms up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale to lengthen, and exhale, step or float back through Chaturanga. Inhale, press through your hands and feet. And exhale, back into downward facing dog. Right leg up, inhale. Exhale, step it up. Stand the ball of the back foot and then walk it in a little, about a foot. And then take the back foot flat, hands to hips. Inhale, come up with a nice long spine. Make sure your hips and shoulders square up to the front of the mat. You can walk your right foot over the right if you need. And then bring your hands behind you, either fists touching or reverse namaste, palms touching. Inhale to open up the chest, and exhale to fold over the straight front leg, and gazing towards your big toe. And reach the crown of the head toward the toe, and then pull your right hip back. Press down into the back leg. Make sure that you keep weight back there, and press the weight in your front foot right at the big toe side. So inhale, coming up halfway. You're going to take the left hand to the floor, inside or outside of the foot, or to the shin, or a block if you have one. You might need to rearrange your legs a little bit to get length. Lengthen as you inhale, exhale the right arm up, and this is twisting triangle. So make sure, again, you're twisting from the waist up, and you're pulling back on your right hip. Squeeze the inner thighs like you've got a block that you're holding. And we'll come back to center. Swing your leg up, and as you swing the right leg up, come right onto your forearms. So it's a three-legged dolphin, and then we'll take that leg back down, step back about a foot into dolphin plank so we can get some abdominal work. Shoulders and hips about in the same line, and then walk the feet in, lift the hips up, press down and straighten the arms, or come to the knees first and make your way back to down dog. Left leg up, inhale. Exhale, walk the back foot in a little bit, line up heel to heel, and then come up with a long spine on your inhale. So make sure that you are squared up, hips and shoulders to the front. Arms to a T on the inhale. Bend your elbows, either press your fists or your palms behind you. Open the chest, inhale, get length. Exhale, keep the length as you extend forward. As you come forward, keep lifting the tips of your shoulders. So we don't want the shoulders to droop down, but you can lengthen the crown of your head toward your toe. Make sure there's no tension on either side of your neck, and continue to pull your left hip back and keep that back leg grounded. Inhale, come halfway up. Reach your right arm forward, get some length. Exhale, right hand inside or outside of the foot or to the shin. Left hip pulls back, and then rotate. Rotate your chest, your rib cage, and lengthen. Then finally add the left arm. If you have any discomfort in the shoulder, you don't have to lift the arm. Every time you inhale, think about getting more length through your spine, and every time you exhale, think about revolving a little bit deeper into your twist. Look down to the floor, bring the hands down. As you sweep your left leg up, come onto your forearms, just an all-one motion for a three-legged downward dog, or three-legged dolphin, sorry, and then set it down for regular dolphin. Step back about a foot, drop your hips, and reach the crown of your head forward. Step your feet together and squeeze. Squeeze your outer hips and your inner thighs. Keep lifting through your upper back and lift the backs of the knees up. To come out of it, walk your feet forward and come down onto your knees. We're going to sit up onto the knees, and if you want padding, put a blanket underneath them. Bring your hands to your low back and press your thighs and hips forward as you lean back. So I'm pressing down on my low back to get length there, and thighs and hips forward. Now imagine there's a string attached to your chest, and that's getting lifted straight up to the ceiling. To come up, squeeze your legs toward each other. Come up both shoulders at the same time. Now tuck the toes under. Maybe reach back for the feet if it makes sense. Otherwise, do what you just did before. If you do have the feet, press a little bit forward again. Keep lengthening through the low back. Lift the chest. Squeeze the legs to come up. Either do that again or untuck your toes. And for the last one, so keep lengthening through the low back. Reach for the feet or not, and then press forward again, lifting the chest. So your hip points are lifting to the low ribs and drawing your front ribs in as you lift your back ribs up, like we do in crescent pose. Very similar in the legs and torso. Lift up away from the feet so your hands are light on the feet. Come on up on your inhale, and then exhale into child's pose. So those camel poses, the Ustrasana poses are heart openers. So your heart might be beating kind of fast right here. You can take a moment to think about something you're grateful for. I always like to do that when I do back bends. All right, shift your hips off to one side. Extend the legs out. And I'm going to grab some blankets. If you don't have blankets, use pillows or towels. Put them underneath. One that you're going to sit right on the edge of, and the other one underneath your leg, your right leg, right under the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, extend. I also have a block underneath my left leg. If my knee is up, I want to support it, either with a block or a blanket, and we're going to stay here for a couple minutes. So if this is not comfortable and you can't really let your body relax here, and then build up some space between your leg and your belly. So blankets, blocks, pillows, whatever you have. And since this is a yin pose, that we're going to practice it that way, you don't have to keep your right leg active. You can just allow the leg to be soft. You can always come in deeper if you like for the last minute or so. And forward folding is very calming for the nervous system. So if you are experiencing a stressful day, this is a great pose to try and allow your body to relax. And just a little bit longer. Stay with it if you can, or you can push the pause button and make this stretch even longer. Maybe working yourself up to 5 minutes. Inhale to lift your head up. And exhale and release it. Now we'll switch sides. So straighten out the left leg. Bend the right knee. Sole the right foot in toward the left inner thigh. You can put your block or blanket under the right knee. Lengthen on the inhale. Exhale to extend forward. And then just allow yourself to drape your body over your leg. Let your leg be soft. Let it be squishy. Our yin practice or restorative practice does the same thing. It allows our body to relax. We have a lot of stressors in our day that we're not even aware of with work and relationships, maybe friendships. So we get into a state of fight or flight, which increases our adrenaline levels. It pushes the blood flow into our arms and legs, so we feel like we could run away or fight. And it takes the blood away from our internal organs for digestion, or all the other important systems in our body. So when we practice this kind of a pose, we allow the blood to just go where it's supposed to be so we can digest, we can relax, we can release some stress. Inhale your head up, and exhale will release. Just sitting with the legs in front for a moment. And then we'll cross the right knee over top of the left knee. And if that's a little too intense, then extend your left leg in front of you. You can stay sitting up or exhale and fold over the legs. And again, if you want to build yourself up, you can put some blankets between your thighs and your belly. This one is a hip opener. And a lot of times when we have hip openers, emotions can surface. It's the second chakra, and a lot of emotions are held there. So if you watched our class last week, I was talking about the book called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And he talks about obstacles to our dreams, or he calls it the personal legend in The Alchemist. And it's basically what we were meant to do on this planet. And he talks about looking for omens and signs to direct our way. So our first obstacle I talked about last week was that obstacle, the messages that we receive that we just can't do it. Oh, you can't do that. Inhale, come on up and switch your legs. Extend them out first and then left over right. And again, you can extend your bottom leg straight out if it's a little too intense this way. Either stay sitting up or exhale, come forward. You can always put blankets, blocks to make it a little less intense for yourself. Or you can just drape your body forward. And the important thing is just to let go of any stress. So the first obstacle, back to our first obstacle, people telling us we can't do it, or we get messages from our relatives, our friends, from society as a whole. So to help overcome the first obstacle, I invited you to think about what your personal legend is, what your destiny, your dream is, and just tell yourself that there is a possibility that you can do it. Give yourself that leeway at least. You could tell yourself, yes, I can do it, but if that doesn't seem possible yet, just give yourself the possibility. And the second obstacle is love. We know what we want to do, but we're afraid of hurting those around us by abandoning everything in order to pursue our dream. Coelho writes that in his book. We see pursuing our life's dream and providing love for others as mutually exclusive. Inhale, come on up. Extend your legs out to the side. And then we'll put some blankets underneath the knee joints. I'm still sitting on the edge of a blanket. Lengthen, inhale. And then bring your right arm over your left arm. And then as you exhale, you can rest your forearms down on a block or blankets, or just right onto the floor. And just allow yourself again to relax. Your head can go. Your shoulders can go. And just breathe here. So we get so attached to the people we love that we can't leave them or disappoint them to pursue our own calling. But Coelho tells us that following our life's ambition, our life's work, brings love not only to those we love directly, but those that we don't even know, because it helps to improve what he calls the soul of the world. It helps to bring love to everyone. Inhale to come up and take your arms out, left arm over right, and exhale to come forward. Any amount again. Pat yourself up for a more comfortable, relaxing forward fold. And just let go of any gripping. So if you're not sure what your personal legend is, your calling, or in yoga we would call it our dharma, allow yourself to meditate on that. Just sit and think. It's probably something that you really, really, really wanted to do, your heart's desire. It's probably something when you were little, you probably thought of it then, and then kind of pushed it off to the side to maybe do something more practical. Inhale to come up. Take your legs together. And then we're going to come into Shavasana, our final resting pose here. So keeping that dream, that personal legend in mind. Tell yourself you can do it. Let yourself know that it will benefit the whole world. And then allow yourself to just relax. Relax. Feel the support of the floor underneath you. Let your body be heavy. Let your mind be quiet. Shavasana. And our quote today comes from The Alchemist. It's a lovely book, again by Paulo Coelho, and I really highly recommend it. It's a wonderful book. He says, "Love is the force that transforms and improves the soul of the world. When I first reached through to it, I thought the soul of the world was perfect. But later I could see that it was like other aspects of creation and had its own passions and wars. It is we who nourish the soul of the world, and the world we live in will either be better or worse, depending on whether we become better or worse. And that is where the power of love comes in. Because when we love, we always strive to become better than we are." Start to make movements in your fingers and toes and give yourself a nice long stretch. Roll to your right side for a moment. So if you do look for omens and signs, I really hope that you enjoyed this one. Come on up to seated. And knowing that you're on your right path, cross your shins and sit up tall, the hands together. Let's bring our hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And hands to the mouth, reminding us to have clear and loving communications. Sending all of our wonderful love energy out to the world. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. Please push the like button if you liked this practice. Please share it with a friend. And if you can afford a donation of any amount to help us keep our free classes going, we would love to be able to share these with the world. Please donate if you can to help us. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.